He slammed the back door so hard the stained glass window rattled. I flinched, phone still in my hand. My thumb hovered over the red button, my heart racing. Just checking in, I'd said. Dad had picked up in the middle of something. I heard chairs scraping and plates clinking, laughter I didn't recognize. Then he forgot to hang up. And I stayed quiet. A woman's voice, my mother's, warm and sharp like dry wine, slipped through. "He won't last a day after our Thanksgiving surprise," Dad said, laughing low and mean. "The mansion will be ours," Mom replied. Her voice purred like it had already happened. I sat frozen in the pantry staring at a box of pancake mix. Grandpa's old photo was still taped above the spice rack. Him in his fishing hat, all grin and knobby knuckles. He built that house. The beams. The porch swing. The rose beds. Every inch. They were planning something. I don't remember pressing end. My hands moved before my brain did. I switched apps. Searched the number I hadn't dialed in 3 years. It rang twice. Pause. Then a voice, cracked, slow, familiar. "Harry." My chest tightened. "Grandpa. It's me. Don't ask anything. Just come for Thanksgiving." He exhaled like he hadn't breathed since Grandma died. "I'll be there." It was Tuesday when he arrived. But he wasn't alone. The front door creaked as it opened, and for a second all I saw was his cane. Then his old boots. Then him. Grandpa looked thicker. Not fatter, stronger. Like someone had stitched some spine back into him. His arm was looped with someone else's. A man. Younger. Broad-shouldered. Square jaw. Thick beard and mirror-shiny shoes. He held a black leather bag in one hand and scanned the room like he was marking exits. Dad was mid-laugh when he saw them. The kind that rolls from the belly and dies in the throat. Mom's wine glass tipped slightly. She didn't blink. "Dad?" she asked, already pale. Grandpa let go of the man's arm. "I brought a friend," he said. The man nodded. "I'm Mr. Renner. Probate attorney." The room cracked. Forks hit china. A single slow blink from Dad. "Probate. I'm not dead yet," Grandpa said, tugging off his scarf. "But I figured I should be around when the truth shows up." No one spoke. The hallway smelled like turkey and orange peels. The gravy was bubbling behind me. Somewhere upstairs the guest bathroom fan clicked on. I watched Dad's eyes. He flicked to Mom, to Grandpa, to the lawyer, then to me. I didn't look away. "Mary," he said slowly, "can I talk to you in the den?" "No." He stepped forward. "Now." Mom rose from the couch. Her smile came back, all charm and no teeth. "Let's not turn this into a..." I said no, I said. My hand was clenched so tight around the carving knife I hadn't realized I was holding it. Before I go further, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. And if you're hooked already, a like and subscribe will keep these stories coming. The table was set. Cranberry sauce in a crystal dish. Sweet potatoes with the marshmallows perfectly browned. I'd folded every napkin into little orange turkeys. Now it all felt ridiculous. Grandpa sat down slowly. Mr. Renner didn't. He pulled a manila folder from his bag and laid it on the sideboard. "This is a codicil to Mr. Cliff's will," he said. "Signed, notarized, and witnessed." "Wait a second," Dad said, voice rising. "This is our house. Ours. My father is still alive," I said. "And apparently has new plans." Mom's eyes were locked on Grandpa. "Why now?" she said. "Why are you doing this now?" Grandpa looked right at her. "Because I heard the call too." A pin dropped. Or maybe it was just my heartbeat. Grandpa pushed something onto the table. His phone. Call history still open. At the top, voicemail, Mary. The date, 5 days ago. Dad's face dropped. "You called me," Grandpa said softly. "You but dialed me before she called you." And there was. Not just betrayal. Not just scheming. But proof. The room went hot. Then cold. Then still. Then Dad did something I didn't expect. He slapped the table so hard the gravy boat jumped. "You ungrateful little..." He started toward me fast. But Grandpa stood. "Don't." He didn't raise his voice. Didn't have to. Dad froze. Inches away. Fists curled. And in that tiny, awful silence, I noticed something strange. Mr. Renner wasn't looking at the folder. Or Grandpa. Or Dad. He was looking at me. Like he knew something I didn't. Like he'd been watching me this whole time. Behind him at the front door there was a knock. 3 slow, heavy taps. I glanced at Grandpa. His jaw clenched. Eyes forward. He hadn't invited anyone else. So who the hell was that? The knock came again. 3 sharp hits this time. Like whoever was out there knew we were listening. I didn't move at first. No one did. Even Dad's anger froze in the air, brittle and useless. Grandpa's eyes hadn't left the door. Mr. Renner glanced at him but didn't speak. The turkey steamed behind me. The scent of sage and rosemary wrapped around us like a trick. Then the doorknob turned. And the door opened. The man who stepped inside was tall. Dark coat. Gloves. A face like cut stone. He didn't smile. Didn't look confused or sorry for being late. He walked in like he'd been here before. And in his hands, a simple black briefcase. Grandpa didn't blink. Dad took a step back. "Who are you?" Mom asked, voice brittle as a wineglass. The man turned to her. "I'm someone you never thought would show up." He set the briefcase down on the entry table with a quiet click. "My name is Deputy Marsh. I'm here on behalf of the state." Then a pause. Measured. "And on behalf of Mr. Cliff's late wife, Martha." That name, Grandma's, cut the air. "She's been dead for 5 years, Dad said, trying to laugh. Deputy Marsh nodded. "Yes. But she left a letter. And instructions." He opened the case. Paper. Envelopes. A recorder. Everything neat, clean, exact. Grandpa didn't move. But his eyes, they changed. A flicker of something I couldn't place. Fear. Memory. "Wait," Mom said, her voice a half-whisper. "What instructions?" Deputy Marsh pulled out a thin envelope. "Mary Cliff," he said, reading the name written in Grandma's old cursive. "This is for you." He handed it to me. It was light. Too light. Just one sheet inside. I looked at Grandpa. His eyes were wet. "Open it," he said. I did. "Dear Mary. If you're reading this, your father has done something he can't undo. I always worried he would. I never told you this, but the house isn't in his name. It never was. It's in yours. It always was. Grandpa helped me sign it over after you were born. We wanted you to have something no one could take. If you're holding this now, it means he's tried. Maybe he forgot who raised him. Maybe he forgot what family means. Don't let them steal what I built with my hands. With love, Grandma." I read it twice. Then I read it out loud. The silence that followed could have split the sky. Dad's mouth opened but no sound came. Mom sat down slowly like her legs forgot what they were for. Grandpa finally smiled. "I told you Martha was always 10 steps ahead," he said. Deputy Marsh cleared his throat. "There's more." He handed me another folder. Inside, property records. Deed transfers. All with my name. Mr. Renner stepped forward. "This is real," he said. "Legally binding. Martha had the right to transfer ownership as joint tenant before her passing. With survivorship. Mary's been the sole heir since the day she turned 18. "You lied to us," Dad said, voice sharp now but aimed at Grandpa. Grandpa didn't flinch. "I protected her. From us." "Yes." Dad stared at me. His eyes held nothing kind. "You think you've won," he said. "But you don't understand what's coming." Before I could ask what that meant, he turned and stormed toward the door. Mom followed, her heels clicking fast on the hardwood. But before they could leave, "Stop," said Deputy Marsh. They did. He held up a document. "Final part," he said. "There's an ongoing investigation. Fraud. Tax misfiling. Attempts to alter an estate in advance of death." Dad turned white. Someone reported a conversation. A call. Threatening in tone. Combined with the voicemail Mr. Cliff received, "We've got enough to press forward." "You can't prove anything," Dad snapped. Deputy Marsh turned to me. "Actually, she can." His eyes found mine. "Mary, are you ready to make a statement?" I opened my mouth. Then looked at Grandpa. His face had gone soft again. Fragile. A flicker of something he was holding in. Something big. And then it hit me. That phone call. The lawyer. The timing. He'd planned this. All of it. He knew I'd overhear them. He wanted me to use me. And the worst part? It worked. I didn't speak. Not right away. My mouth was dry, tongue heavy. The kitchen light above us flickered once. Grandpa didn't notice. Or maybe he didn't care. Deputy Marsh stood still, pen and notepad ready, eyes steady on me. But I wasn't looking at him. I was staring at Grandpa. His hands, clasped together like they were holding something fragile. His jaw, clenched just enough to show the ghost of a tremble. He didn't say anything. Didn't try to stop me. Didn't defend himself. I looked down at the letter in my hand. Grandma's handwriting curved across the page, clean and careful, like she'd written it in candlelight with one shot left to get it right. Her words weren't angry. They were sure. But now they burned. Because the truth was, Grandpa didn't just protect me. He played me. He'd known everything, the call, the betrayal, the greed, long before I did. And instead of confronting it himself, he let me do it for him. He needed me to. That's why the lawyer came. Why the envelope was in the deputy's case. Why the table was set like a stage. I was the opening act. He was the finale. I swallowed hard and looked up at Deputy Marsh. Yes, I said. My voice came out small. I want to make a statement. Mom exhaled sharply. Dad turned toward her, mouth parting like he was about to say something. Beg maybe, but her eyes were locked on the wall like she couldn't even look at him. I overheard my parents discussing Grandpa's death, I said slowly. They were laughing. They talked about the house, about the inheritance. It wasn't a joke. My voice cracked. They meant it. I heard the pen scratch across paper. Then I turned to Grandpa. You knew, I said just to him. His lips pressed into a thin line. I hoped I was wrong. No, you didn't. My voice grew sharper. You wanted it to happen. You let it. His shoulders rose in a slow breath. If I had told you, you wouldn't have believed me. I would have, I said. I always would have. His eyes shimmered, and for a moment he looked so much older. Not like the man who walked in strong with a lawyer at his side. But like the man who sat at the edge of my childhood bed and told me how stars were just holes poked in heaven's floor. I didn't want you to see them that way, he said quietly. But they made their choices. And I needed you to see it for yourself. Why me? I whispered. He looked right at me. Because you're the only one with anything left to lose. The rest came in pieces. Deputy Marsh asked questions. I answered. Mr. Renner pulled out paperwork, not just for the house but for Grandpa's accounts, his health proxy, his will. Every signature already in place. Dated, witnessed, filed. He hadn't just come back for Thanksgiving. He'd come to end something. And start something else. Dad stayed by the wall, arms crossed, the same arms that once lifted me to reach cookies on the top shelf. Now they looked like cages. Mom never sat down. She just stared through the window like maybe the street outside would open up and swallow her. When it was done, Deputy Marsh nodded once. I'll follow up next week. You'll get copies. Then he left, briefcase shut, not a glance behind him. Mr. Renner tipped his head. Happy Thanksgiving, Mary. And he left too. The door clicked shut. It was just the four of us now. No more legalese. No more authority. Just family. And silence. Grandpa walked to the table and slowly took his seat. Same chair he'd always used with the worn armrest and the soft squeak. I made apple pie, I said without thinking. No one moved. Then Grandpa smiled. I hope you didn't burn it like last year. I almost laughed. Almost. But then Dad pulled a chair out and sat. Loudly. Not defiant. Not dramatic. Just tired. Mom followed, still not speaking. I stood for a second, not sure what to do, until Grandpa nodded toward the head of the table. Yours now. I walked around slowly and sat where Dad used to. Where Grandma always made him carve the turkey even when he didn't want to. I picked up the knife. My hands were steady. I sliced the turkey in clean, even cuts. Served each plate. Passed the rolls. No one spoke. Not until halfway through the meal when Grandpa set down his fork. You should know something, he said softly, looking at me. My heart picked up again. Your grandmother, she didn't want to leave things this way. She believed in second chances. She believed people could change. She was wrong, Dad muttered. Grandpa looked at him, really looked. She was, he said. Then he turned back to me. But I'm not. He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a small velvet pouch. He handed it to me. What is it? I asked. Open it. Inside, a key. Old iron. Worn smooth at the edges. The attic, he said. What's in there is yours. It always was. but you'll understand better once you see it. I didn't move. He leaned back in his chair. I won't be staying here. I've got a cabin in Red Pine I've been fixing up. Quiet place. Good trout. You're leaving? I asked. He nodded. House is yours. But your life's just starting. Don't spend it cleaning up mine. I looked down at the key. I could already feel the weight of what it opened. Something waited for me up there. Not money. Not secrets. Something bigger. After dinner, Dad tried to speak to me. I didn't let him. Not yet. Mom offered to help with dishes. I told her no. Grandpa hugged me at the door, real and quiet. I'm proud of you, he whispered. Then he stepped into the cold, zipped his coat and walked off into the night. No dramatic music. No slow motion. Just boots on gravel. And gone. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the attic steps with the key in my hand, listening to the wind rattle the eaves. When I finally opened the door, it groaned like it hadn't been touched in years. Inside were boxes, paintings, journals, and a letter. Another one. To me. This time not from Grandma. From Grandpa. Dear Mary. If you're reading this, then I've left again. Maybe you're angry. I hope you are. Anger means you care. Inside this attic is every piece of who we were, your grandmother, me, and the lives we lived before your parents forgot how to love anything but money. There's a deed in here, to a small house on the coast. There's now a clean start. No memories, no ghosts, no plans made for you. Just ocean air and a crooked porch swing I know you'll fix. Live there. Love there. Write something if you want. You're more than what they left you with. More than what I asked of you. You always were. Love, Grandpa. I read it twice. Then again. Then I opened the window. The wind smelled like salt and rain. I looked back at the door. I knew I'd leave this house. But not tonight. Tonight I'd sleep in my old bed. In the room with the slanted walls and glow-in-the-dark stars still stuck to the ceiling. Just one more night. Then tomorrow. I'd begin.